the personal text.
Yeah, thank you. That was nice.
Like
he texted me.
Hey, I'm going to start here because we just had Jordan Poole and Gary Payton II on. And, I'm not saying we know these guys at all, but they're grown-ups. You know what I mean? Look you in the eye, answer your question. How much do you guys really look into, like, the character of a young player?
Probably more than the fans or listeners think we do, for a couple reasons. It does come out. It does reveal itself. I mean, obviously, people listening or fans want us to win. They probably don't care that much. You'd like to like our guys, but we have to know who they are because I was talking to Sean Livingston the other day, being down to Houston those 2 years, down 10 at halftime, I think, in 2 elimination games. That's when you kind of find out who someone is.
Wow.
Not when you just keep winning, but, it's those moments where you look in the locker room and you go, we got good guys. Now, do you win every game? No. But if you get talent and character, you can get by some people. Talent, it's tough though because not a lot of people can play basketball at this level. So you don't just get nice guys, but the blend is the best. And Curry, obviously, if he wants to come in, he's going to wait till I'm done, right?
Curry,
if he has to. No, I just saw him the wait. He's nowhere near coming on, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's nowhere. Yeah, he might. I don't know. Ritter's in charge of that. No, but he's still working out, so we don't have to worry.
Okay,
about
well he'll be here.
Yeah, no, I know because you're friends with him,
right? Well, he wants to talk to me.
Yeah, I figured that.
I know.
Yeah, that I.
No, it's
you
funny.
guys go way back.
Way back. We go so far back. I say it all the time, but Steph Curry the first media day Steph Curry went to ever. Steven Jackson asked for a trade, and Monte Ellis said, I can't play with Steph Curry.
Yeah.
And from that moment to get to this, it's incredible, really.
Well, look, you've skipped a part, which, doesn't get said a ton, but he didn't necessarily want to come to the Warriors. It's not new. It was documented. But the best story of Steph is part of that, what Matt just said, which is it's a good story of perseverance. Because you're right, he shows up here, he gets those first couple comments from teammates, he's got the ankle. This guy didn't come to a winning place necessarily, signed a contract that helped the organization more than him. And the truth is, and I've said this before, not once, not ever did he ever mention a word to me or anybody as far as I know about his contract. Like never under his breath. Like, you guys ain't paying me. Never.
Well, neither does Andre.
Yeah, Andre doesn't do it either. Yeah, he doesn't do it every day. He does it every other day.
Right.
Reminds us. Yeah, reminds us. Yeah. But anyways, Curry's a good story of see it through. See something through. It didn't show up. It wasn't perfect he had the ankle stuff, and what he has reaped, he deserves. I mean, it wasn't just walk into the NBA for him and dominate and win. He built a ton of what people that like us now get to see. His fingerprints are way all over that stuff. So,
not to get all mushy on you, but I'm walking in and I'm looking at Thrive City, no clouds in the sky, Bob, and I'm telling you, I'm feeling some type of way because I'm getting emotional about. I passed Oracle on the way here on 880, and I remember where you used to sit and what playoff games were like in that building, final games. And now we're here, and we're about to embark on the first playoffs in this Chase Center. And I know it's been some bad luck the last couple of years, guys getting hurt, but what does that mean to you? Because I'm getting goosebumps. I mean it about, I think of the Clay game. It looked like a finals game, and now here we are, go time in your new arena. What's that feeling like for you? Do you think about it?
Yeah, no. I mean, I've sat and I grew up going to Warriors games. I have memories of before I started working for the team. So I grew up getting excited to sit up in the upper level with my brother and my dad. So before that, but then you got the memories. What makes memories are playoff games. That's what makes candlestick memories.
Moments.
Those are the moments. We don't have those moments yet here where we're sitting today. We will. They're coming. But that's what people remember. I mean, you got the rare kind of Clay game in the third quarter and stuff like that. But really, for our fans, for this building to kind of get ushered into the Warriors lore, we got to get some playoff games in here.
There you go.
And Oracle. I mean, come on, how many playoff games were in there? 100, 100. In the last 5, 6, 7 years.
Right.
And those, you guys have been to playoff games. I mean, if you're listening, you got to get to a playoff game. I'm not trying to sell tickets here.
Right.
At some point in your life, it's a different deal. The
is.
playoffs are a different.
It is.
It is a different deal, and you get to see great effort, great skill, and that you unfortunately you love to see it in every regular season game, but playoffs in every sport are the best.
It feels like, and by the way, Matt Steinmetz, Darryl the Guru Johnson. We're with Warriors President of Basketball Operations, Bob Myers. We're coming to you live from inside the Chase Center. Warriors have just finished up practice. If you want to check us out on twitch.tv or youtube.tv, you can do that, twitch.tv/957 the game. Ditto for YouTube, although I don't know. Hopefully it's just Bob they're showing right now, and not.
I was going to wear a suit. He talked me out of it.
Why didn't you do that?
Yeah, but Steiny, act like you've been there. You know,
you don't have to do everything you said.
I know.
He doesn't know everything. He doesn't. He's not. You're the guru.
Yeah, no,
isn't that your name?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm gonna fall in the playoff game suited.
Yeah,
nobody will care, but I'll make up for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, the one thing I am fascinated by when the playoffs come is you have 5 championship players. Otto Porter's quietly been to the postseason a little more than people think, but for the most part, then your other guys, Wiggins and Bjelica, have been there once or twice. You got guys with no playoff experience, and there's not a lot of guys in the middle.
Yeah, that's what's great about it. You get to find out who someone is. I mean, that's the playoffs. There's nowhere to hide. The moment gets bigger. We have seen some of these guys, right? We know what Steph does in the playoffs, and Draymond and Clay, and why Andre, Looney, even why we love them is for what they do in the playoffs, because they level up. A lot of guys can't do it. Playing hard is a skill in the regular season. In the playoffs, everybody's playing hard, so you can't just rely on playing hard. You have to be able to bring something else and bring it against great defense and great tactics from the opposing coach and great players, because it's. The bench in the playoffs is reduced to not a lot of minutes. The years we went to the finals 5 years in a row, I can tell you, people talk about benches a lot. Benches are important for the regular season. Those years, if you look back, in those 5 years we went in a row, our bench scoring in the regular season was 25th, 27th, 28th, 29th. People think about those great benches. Yeah. Those were great starters. And so let's see who of the guys that Matt mentioned or the ones that haven't been there before, who gets to seize that opportunity and make a name. That's what the playoffs are about. It's like a hitter that's never hit. You go hit some home runs. We'll remember you. The Bay Area will love a guy that does something for the Warriors in the playoffs. It's going to be fun to see.
Bob, my late mom said, unique is one of the biggest compliments somebody could give you. Son, if somebody ever throws that your way, you take that as a compliment, embrace it. And I've come into shows with Steiny, and I'm like, I heard Trey yelling like a gladiator through the TV. And we just had GP the second on, and he talked about everybody leads differently. And let's say a quiet leader gets off and needs that voice. Talk to us about Draymond, him being unique, and how many people have you been around to where they have that fire?
Not a lot.
Okay.
That's what makes him, it's a good word your mom used, and it's true. I hope, uniquely good is better than uniquely bad. Uniquely bad. But he, a good compliment you can give somebody is when they're in the room, and when they're not. And a not nice thing to say would be like, I don't even know when you're come and go, because there's no presence to you. He embodies the presence. He walks in the room. If you walked in here right now, you kind of feel it without him saying anything. And then add to it, he's not afraid to say something. He's a fascinating guy. He really is a fascinating guy. Having been my whole career, it was my first draft was Draymond. So I've known him, and we've been through some stuff. But he's one of my favorite guys. He just is all parts of Draymond. The good, the guy that gets kicked out, the one that helped win us championships, the one that leads. But you guys may not know, this year, because you don't get to see our players, and you shouldn't as much as we interact with them. But his leadership this year has maybe been the best he's had. He was playing tremendous. I know he got hurt. Now he's finding his way back. But his stability, his presence, his attitude, it's been the best, most consistent I've seen in his career, from my vantage point. You've seen him get the tees and stuff like that, but behind the scenes, his leadership has been real. He comes back in the locker room, apologizes. He owns it. He owned when he wasn't playing well. It's fun to watch him mature, but we clearly need him to do anything in the playoffs.
Warriors president of basketball operations, Bob Myers, joining us here. We're at the Chase Center, Steiny and Guru. We're at the Bridge Club. So this is Lakewood's lair.
Yeah, you guys are probably not.
Okay.
I don't think
so. He's not here today, clearly.
No. This is where, because this is during.
I feel like I'm at my parents' house and they're out of town.
Don't spill the water on the couch. This is where the owners come pregame and halftime and postgame. So take a good look at it because I don't know if it's going to happen. I mean, if you wear the suit, I'll get you back in here.
Okay, all right.
You wear the suit, I'll find a way to get you in here.
You heard him, Steiny.
Yeah, I mean, I dressed up one time this year, and it was for a Warriors game because I knew. Let me ask you this: as we head into the playoffs, and once again, we got Bob Myers, president of basketball operations, joining us. Oh, by the way, you hear what LeBron said?
No.
He wants to play with Curry. I know you can't say anything. Don't say anything.
Yeah,
I guess on the latest.
We don't got the. He may have it. I don't.
I'm not going to get you in trouble. But apparently, he said of past players, he would have loved to have played with Pippen and Penny Hardaway, and he said, Steph. So
but who? I'm not going to comment
get on the horn.
No, but who wouldn't want to play with Curry?
Well, you know what?
Right.
That's
I want to play
point.
with Curry. Who don't want to play with him?
That's a good point.
He is not. I think the thing that makes everybody love. We've all played basketball. I know you two have. He is one of the rare, uber talented people that is unselfish. Like he will celebrate your success more than his own.
That's
genuine. You see him on the sidelines when Clay's going nuts, and he comes in and I've never seen him disappointed. Some players. The truth is, Matt, you've been in locker rooms. Some players, when you win and they don't play well.
Yep.
It's like they lost.
Yeah. Never once. And I've seen them play a lot of games and a lot of meaningful games and games he's played well. And he has, that's real with him. So who wouldn't want to be around that kind of guy?
Real quick, Goo, you're listening to 95.7 The Game. Got to pay the bills. 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM at HD1 San Francisco, on Odyssey Station, brought to you by DuckDuckGo, privacy simplified.
Now, I'm sitting here telling you about the moments that I'm yearning for in Chase Center, and we're about to embark on the playoffs. But Saturday, I feel like there was one. And we just had Jordan pull on, and I asked him about the embrace. There was emotion. I don't know if you caught that between him and Clay. And the place was going crazy. What did you make of that, and what did it mean to you?
Well, they got to build that, right? That's the beginning of. They haven't been through the fight together, those two. And that's a building. That's a stepping stone for their relationship, for their comfort with each other. I mean, Clay doesn't need to prove anything to his teammates, but Jordan is still doing that. And to be embraced, and I don't know who initiated it, but for them to share a moment, we're going to need that moment to continue to do anything in the postseason. But you don't know who someone is till there's a little bit of adversity. That game, we were probably written off 5-6 times.
I sent out a tweet. Ritter saw it.
Really? What'd you say?
Go ahead.
No, I'm just curious. It's public information. What did you say?
You guys were embarrassed.
Really?
Right. Right.
Embarrassed.
Something like that.
Really?
Thank you, Steiny.
Yeah. What'd you say after?
I think great win. Yeah, great win. Yeah, a great win.
I told you, you're off. You're I live with your passion. I'll take it.
I appreciate
it. You care. It's fine. You care.
You know, one thing about Steph, and I always ask this question here and there because, like I said, I go back with him to 2009, and he was a grown-up when he came into the league. Like, have you ever seen, and I'm not saying mad, but have you ever once seen Curry, be a jerk?
No.
I know.
No.
What's wrong with this guy?
I'm gonna think about if we ever walked near a jerk. Like if you ever came close to being a jerk.
Did you ever has he turned down an autograph or I can't.
No, nothing like that. I'm thinking behind the scenes after a loss. Right, was he blaming anything? I just can't. The one thing he does, which we all should do, is when things don't go well, he turns to himself first, and it's kind of like, what could I have done? No. That's just not part of his deal. He's just not that guy. I mean, he's a rare superstar, whatever you want to call him, celebrity that is as good or better than you think. For the people listening, he's just a quality person. We're not famous. I mean, I don't walk. He can't move through life without. He's famous. You can see how sometimes those people would say, "Leave me alone." I wouldn't even blame him. Yeah. But he he just embraces it, and he doesn't take it for granted, I don't think.
One of the things Steiny and I have in our relationship is I'll come in and I'll be honest, Bob, and I'll tell him, Steiny, I'm excited about this or that. He'll say, slow down. Yeah, slow down. But I know there's hits and misses in the draft. That's just how the game goes. And you got Moody, Kuminga, and every Dub Nation's excited. But the guy we just talked to earlier, Jordan Poole, right now, and I know it's not a finished story, but Bob, are you shocked at the growth that you're seeing from him? Because before Clay came back, he got the opportunity to start, and I feel like, I'll go baseball, he hit a grand slam. And right now I'm looking at him like, you know, slow down, Goo, but stardom awaits you. How shocked are you with his progress?
Well, on Curry, he did throw that mouthpiece that one time. That's
right.
the only thing. I think he hit somebody. I think he hit somebody.
Right, then they auctioned it off.
Yeah, they auctioned it off, and he made. I just had to. I had a thought. That's the one time.
That was
one
an
time.
infraction.
One time. We're all human beings. I think Jordan, you know, having been in like Matt goes back to his days being in the locker room, being an agent, having worked with some pretty high level players. I think what Jordan teaches us all is we probably bury people and we anoint them way too fast.
Fair.
And I'm not saying you're anointing him, but Jordan is a good example. And there's a lot of players that come into the league and, you know, we say how great they are and they turn out, they're not great. They're good.
Because him going to the G League, I got to be honest.
Yeah, well, you know, well, we can look back at the tweets and see what you said.
I said it was embarrassing.
Yeah, embarrassing. He's embarrassing. The front office made it embarrassing. Yeah, so, you know what? In any sport, you pick a player, no matter who you pick, barring you pick a Shaquille O'Neal or so some guys, there's a very few amount of guys where you can see it at 19.
Okay.
You know, in any sport, you can't. So when any GM picks a player, especially as you get down in the later first round, we don't know. You think you know. I mean, but if it was obvious, we'd all get it right, and everybody would, you know, everybody works hard. They do a good job for the most part. But to watch a player grow, we enjoy that too, and we like to see that too. But we also know, thankfully, being in this organization, that there's levels to it, and so being a good regular season player or going on a good run is the beginning of something, and we're excited about it. He should be excited, mostly because he put the work in. But the next ascension for Jordan is going to be postseason. And he can do it. I think he can do it. I'm sure he thinks he can do it. But I think how you said it is right. He's knocking on that door. But, you know, he's 22 years old. I just don't love when we, you know, critique guys and then say how great they are 3 years into their career.
Right.
We got to wait. But he's been doing fantastic. I don't say that to not. He's been unbelievable. We're lucky. He's playing great.
No doubt.
President of Basketball Operations, Bob Myers, joining Steiny Guru. We are inside the Chase Center. Warriors have just finished practice. Guys are coming through, and we really, really appreciate it. There's one guy, speaking of appreciation, there's one guy that I'm fascinated by because it's incredible how underappreciated it is. We've talked about, well, Poole, he's eligible for a contract extension, and Iguodala, what's he going to do at the end? Kevon Looney's a free agent at the end of this year. Can you speak to him and how he's just always been under the radar, but, like, how big a priority is he?
Well, he's a priority. You know, and he doesn't stand. It's hard to stand out in this organization. I mean, you got a lot of guys that cast pretty big shadows. Certainly the players with Steph, Clay, Draymond, Andre. It's not a knock that he's not the one that's spoken about the most. But again, you talk about proving it. He's played in the NBA Finals numerous times. Like that's and done well. And we played him. Those Houston teams we beat were very good, and we used him. And without him. You know, I talked to Daryl Morey about Looney a few times, and he admits, he's like, he was tough. He was tough in the playoffs. You guys watched, I'm sure. He did a hell of a job. He's been great. He knows what we do. Steve loves him. I'm sure he'll tell you that if you have him on. Ask him about Looney. It's his favorite guy. But any coach would love him. He is quiet. He's a professional. It's hard to find, you know, that word. I don't say that lightly. We love professionals. Any GM would love having a guy like that. Zero maintenance. Wants to play all 82 games. Probably will. You know, and just does his job. Hard hat. You know, lunch pail, old school kind of player. But we're lucky to have him. I think he has earned the respect of those guys that I mentioned before. And you I don't know how many games he'll have started for us this year or end up starting, but he's been huge.
Bob, I could be wrong with this next question, but this is just my take and my assessment. I'm looking at the O'Brien trophies in the background, and when you guys were winning those and you had Durant, I almost felt like you guys, there was a pressure to win it because everybody expected you to win it. Matt and I were in the building. It was like, this is the team to beat. But this year, I just feel like, I don't know if I want to use fun as the word, but it's different. You guys aren't that team. And I'm wondering, you're getting over the injuries. Has this season been fun? Because it feels like it from afar.
There's Steve over there. I should ask him if it's been fun. I think fun. It's hard
I don't
for
think
us.
it's been fun.
You don't think it's been fun?
I can tell.
I can't.
I can tell.
I'll say this. I think we don't. It's hard to work in a place and use that. We're like a fun is more for the fans.
Yeah.
Like we work here. I do have a lot of fun going to work. I've loved watching this team. But to your first part of the question, which is for at least 3 or 4 of those 5 years, if you look back at how many games were we favored in, just favored, the odds, I'd say 90%.
Okay. Yeah,
90%.
Yeah.
So you guys have played sport. When you walk into something, you go, I'm supposed to win. There's a pressure to that. Obviously, the teams were good, so we like that. That's the position you want to be in. This is different. And I personally, we haven't been, this goes way back to Mark Jackson, when we played Denver that first round in 2012, and we were not supposed to win. I think we were a 6 seed.
Okay.
And then playing the Spurs, and they were kind of the big brother team, and they had done it before and been there, and we're like, well, let's just see how many games we can take them. And we were proud. We took them 6 games. And then the next year playing the Clippers and losing in 7. Those were the last times. But 14, 15, I don't think we were supposed to win.
Yeah.
I don't think we were supposed to. But yeah, it's different. I think it's, ask Steve too. I mean, he was here for all that. But I think that for me, yeah, I don't want to knock what we kind of were that team for a while. And that was awesome.
Yeah.
But this is fun too. I'm excited to see, I don't know who's the favorite or who isn't, but we're in that mix.
Gotcha.
All right, we got Steve.
Yeah, go ahead, get Steve.
No, I got one more for you because we kind of talked about this. You've been here, 10 years now?
Yeah.
How long do you think you're going to do this?
I don't know. If Steve stays,
there it is.
Keep doing it. I don't know. I have a boss. You're sitting in his chair.
Assuming you don't get fired at some point. How long do you think you do this?
You know what I love? If I were to answer that honestly, I love basketball. I love it. I just love being around it. Wasn't good enough to play in the NBA, but played a little bit in college. This is the closest I can get to it for me. And that's hard to walk away from. I just love the game. I remember even Game 7 against Cleveland when we lost that game as a killer. Losing that game in Oracle. I remember looking out at the floor, just having a great amount of respect for watching that amount of talent. I was sitting courtside. Joe asked me to sit with him for that game, and I had a moment. I was like, I grew up as a kid. Now I'm sitting on the floor for a Game 7 of the NBA Finals. And look who's on the floor. Like, look at these players. And, we know who Cleveland had.
Yeah.
And look at our team. And I was like, dang, I do this for free. I pay for this seat. So I will never stop loving basketball.
Yeah.
So.
Hey,
anyways.
thank you so
Awesome
much
stuff,
as always, man.
All right.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. It's Bob.